this EvolveFM features overview presentation, we're going to take a look at grids. Grids are the easiest way that Evolve presents non-graphical data, and grids are used in plan room, in documents, assets, space, pictures, and contacts. And for this exercise, we're going to look at under the space function, and I'll pull that up over here from the bottom since I've had it open before. And you can see at the top level we have home, properties, buildings, floors, spaces, occupants, etc. So right now I have the occupants tab open. And then you can see these functions across the top, which are what we're going to talk about in this overview. So the first thing we want to talk about is the fields that are available. So here we have a grid, and you can see we have things like name, last name, first name, email, etc. And I can come over to any of these selections, and you'll see the pull down arrow here. And underneath the pull down arrow, you'll see I have columns. And this is where I can see all the fields that are available for a particular, in this case, occupant record. And all the checked marked values you can see show across the top. And all the fields that are not checked marked are still hidden. So I get some control on the top row of what fields I want to display. And further, I am able to position these fields around any way I want to, put them in whatever order I want. So I can drag, for example, email over here if I want to, and you notice I've switched those positions. So I can drag these columns around to do whatever order makes sense for the way I like to work. Furthermore, once I've completed adjusting these things in terms of displaying the fields I want to see and the order I want to see them in, I can do something called Manage Views, where I can click on a view and I can save that view. In this case, I've just a little change, so when I say save that view, now that will become an available view in the window. And if you noticed also, let me go back to Manage Views for a minute, you notice that I check marked the default setting here so that this becomes the default view for me when I'm logged in. Now everyone won't see this view, but I will because of my login and the fact that I've set that as the default view. And if I wanted to change it to the all occupants view, I could click to that. And if I wanted to make that the default view, I could come over here and open that one up and make it the default view. So you have quite a bit of control here over how you customize your screen when you get into a particular grid, so that that grid presents information in a way that makes sense to you. Other things you can do across the top here, you can obviously click on a record in the line here, and you can open that record, and that gives you all the fields across all the tabs so that you can edit and add information or change information as you want, and then you can save that record. You can remove a record. If you have delete rights, if you have admin rights, or whatever rights the group that you belong to is set up for, you could click on a record here and say, this person's gone, I don't want that person there anymore, and you can remove that record from the database. And then lastly, you could click add, and you could add a record. And if I click on add, it gives me a list of people who aren't already in the database out of the contacts collection. And I can then pick a person here and add them, or if I have someone brand new that doesn't even exist in the system yet, I can click on new and I can create a new occupant record. So I have all those features available across the top. The other function that's available in the top banner here is the search feature. We'll do a separate presentation on all the search features to show you how you can sort information and find information within EvolveFM. And that concludes this short presentation of how grids work in EvolveFM. Again, to summarize, you can open, remove, add, you can manage views. And the other thing you can do is you can print lists. In other words, you could output this whole group of people to a list. You could also export a list, meaning you could pump all the records in this display out to a spreadsheet. And also you have the ability, again, if you have the rights, to import lists. So you could take a spreadsheet that maybe you had sent out or exported and updated, you could import it back in and update all the appropriate data records in the system. So that's the short but complete tour of how grids work in EvolveFM. Thanks for watching.